Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, as the case may be. I am your humble host, Mr. David Knoll, also known as Hawkeye Two Feathers, and I greet you with the love and the honor of the infinite Creator. And I continue to pray that each and every day, each and every one of you will continue to learn how to accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, the wisdom, the blessings, and the many other smart things that you can learn from the from the cosmic internet. So I greet you here just with a short one. Yeah, like I can never do a short show. Hey, Witch Moon and Chloe. Looking at the latest hurricane maps and everything, this puppy's headed right for us. Well, it's going to be, near Valdosta. Well, I'm not too far from Valdosta. Hey, Sheila. Yeah, we were just talking. Yeah, I went outside and kind of hunkered down and put a tarp over the my new John Deere tractor, my old new John Deere tractor, and put stuff up underneath the shed, make sure that the tools were covered and things. And there's a lot of stuff in my yard that could go flying, but it hasn't in the past. That don't mean it won't. But looking at the radar, we got some rain in the neighborhood, but basically we've only got a trace of rain today where other folks have gotten flooded. So at the moment we are not in a flood situation, and Sheila and ours respectively, our backyards are pretty low. The river's almost dry. It's not even running. If it is, it's only a trickle. So we could use some rain here, and the river could stand to go flowing again. You know what I mean? But the estimates are supposed to be 3 to 4 inches here. That always varies. And if the armadillo doesn't knock over my dadgum um, rain gauge again, I will be able to tell you how many inches we got. But, I'm going to be live with Robert tonight at 10 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time for another, Milky Way presentation of, I think this is like number 94 on our Native American Myths and Legends series. Worry more about those what? Did you say big oak trees? Yeah, this big oak tree over my house. Yep, I am more worried about trees coming down. You betcha. But it is what it is when it is. When the storms come through and they either take trees down or they don't. There's a couple going up my driveway that I would almost expect for them to come down. So I might not be able to get out of the driveway until I can cut the trees out. We'll see. Depends on which way they land, but there's a couple of them that are deadfalls standing up my driveway. So the hurricane force winds worry about the big pines. Yeah, up the driveway I am, Sheila. My big pine trees are far enough away from the house that they don't. All the ones that used to worry me are all dead and fallen that were right behind the house. And by the way, yeah, I've had a couple of them right back here that are gone now that were issues in the past. But yep, yeah, them pine trees going up my driveway. Yeah, there's a couple of them. Need to worry about them. But this oak tree over my house too will throw a limb out if you're not careful, and those will land right on top of the house and the shed and stuff. You're surrounded. That's right. You got big pine trees down there right around you. We'll see how that goes, right? Well, I just wanted to get on here and remind everybody that there are a lot of other folks too that are going to get hit with this hurricane. But we've been through this stuff before. I mean, golly, my first hurricane was Hurricane Donna back in 62 or 63 down in Tampa. And we lost three big trees then in our front yard there on Margaret Avenue in Tampa, Florida. Um, I can't remember what our zip code was. Anyway, but so I'm hoping that the lights flickered earlier. So I'm hoping that we don't have any thunderstorms that will do that. Um, while I'm live with Robert tonight. Of all the things that worry me is that a storm will come through and just lights flicker, because we had that hiccup earlier, and it takes about 5 minutes for the um, Wi-Fi to kick back on and to hook back in. So, it might be that something like that might happen. Oh, it's 8:20. Ooh, ish. Ooh, I've had this bowl lined up all afternoon long, just waiting on an opportunity. It's 4:20 somewhere, probably on the West Coast. So, but anyway, y'all like my gentleman's hat? I feel like a Southern gentleman when I wear this hat. I might not look like one. I was looking at spaghetti models here just a bit ago, and I swear one of them goes right over the house. So it doesn't matter how close the eye of the storm comes, because we're going to get, you know, um, odd wind shears. I mean, because as it comes through with the rotation counterclockwise, we'll be getting wind from the southeast as it comes in, unless it's on the other side of us, but still. So we're probably going to, hey, you be safe. Oh, thank you, Bogcat. Still smoky here from our wildfires. Oh, yeah, you're up in BC. God, I hate it for y'all. I do. It's been a good many years ago now, going on 30, but there were the Okefenokee Swamp, which is like over there, 50, 60 miles to the west. I'm sorry, to the east. Um, the Okefenokee caught on fire. It was a bog fire, sure enough, bogcat. And it burned, and it didn't burn, it just smoked. And now, for those of us who live down here in the South, have you ever had a fire going and you threw some Spanish moss on the fire and it smoked up? Oh, God, it was like that. And all of South Georgia and northern Florida was covered in thick smoke. I mean, it was unbelievable. You couldn't breathe, and it was all because of that bog fire over in the Okefenokee. So I don't know exactly how you feel up there in BC, but I do know what it's like to have wildfires, because those of us here in South Georgia and North Florida, we set things on fire at least once a year around here to keep too many pine needles from gathering up, and to keep from having wildfires that burn everything up, because we learned that back in the day. So hey, Travis and Barry, did you get the picture of the pond reflecting? No, I heard the frog go off, but I didn't know if you'd sent a picture or not. So I just wanted to come on here and for just a few, while I'm waiting to go on with Robert V tonight at 10 o'clock. Our forecasts have been mismanaged for years. Oh, yeah. Tell me about it. And y'all have been catching hell up there too with them wildfires. And now I don't know how you Canadians are up there, and no offense, but your forestry department down here, the state of Georgia encourages fires once a year. In fact, we have done so good with keeping wildfires down that we no longer have, fire towers around. And back in the day, because Georgia has a lot of pine trees, and forestry is a big business here. So no, we do not want our forestry to go out of whack because of forest fires and so forth. So we know better down here in the South. And almost every year, it depends on how healthy I am. This year, I hope to burn the property again. It might not be in the fall, but we'll see. I need to at least burn it by January, February, maybe after hunting season. I'll burn it, and I should be feeling a lot better by then, and also have the opportunity to be able to get. I rode down there on my tractor the other day. I rode down there on my tractor the other day. Geoengineering spraying over our forest. Yeah, 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 yeah. I understand. Some of our forests are privately managed. Now we get geo spraying all the time, but not directly on the trees, but we still get it. But because we manage our forests down here, North Florida, South Georgia, and there are some big plantations. I mean, around me, there are several big plantations that my property almost butts up against. We share the same neighborhood, if you will, like 1,200, 1,500 acres. There's one across the river that's about 1,500 at least. Um, I mean, so, and the one that I'm thinking of, they just clear cut a bunch of it and sold the pine trees. So now it's a big field. But anyway, but that's all right. Other types of things will come up in that field. And I don't know, it's close, it's at least 100 to 400 acres anyway. A big field that they just cut down. But anyway, so our pine trees down here, mostly in this area, are privately owned and privately managed. Okay, and they do a really good job of clear cutting an area and then going back in and transplanting. And so the forestry down here has been well managed for a bunch of years. And when I traveled around, when I we did that big loop back in '99, my brother and I out to the West Coast, I was surprised at how mismanaged the forests were back then. And that was long before their wildfires and everything, although they had some wildfires in the past, and seeing the forest out there, and I was like, there's too much undergrowth. There's too much litter. There's too much stuff that if it ever catches on fire. And guess what? It did eventually. Now that was in '99 that I was out there. So having studied forestry myself, went to school for it, kind of thing. Those types of things are, they ding, ding, ding awareness. So there are known forestry practices that have been known now for like 200 years here in America, 200 years. Pioneers learned what happened when they clear cut without transplanting. They did things that cost the resources of the land, which in turn hurt the peoples. So we as a society, as a species, have learned a lot about forestry and land management and stuff like that. But government stepped in, and governments are lousy at it. But like because down here, um, most of the land is privately managed, although it's overseen by the state, blah blah blah, but not tyrannically. If I want to burn my property, I can. You know, you're supposed to get a permit, but most folks don't. You know, we just know how to take care of the property and how not to burn our neighbor's house down. Um, but in other states where there are uh, large state-owned acreages, it gets a little wild and woolly. And but privately owned property, the trees are well taken care of and managed, and the land is managed properly. And why am I on this tangent of trees all of a sudden and land management? Oh, because you brought up the push the critters our way, Hurricane Idalia, rare blue moon, super moon. What does that mean? Nothing. I think it's a coincidence. Now, except that in that 5 days ago they told us where the hurricane was going to be tonight, and I thought to myself, because I'm a conspiracy theorist myself, and I said, how can they tell me that on Tuesday night at 10 o'clock the hurricane's going to be there, right there in this spot? Well, it's not quite there at that spot, but it's close, because they were showing like due west of Tampa, and it's not quite there yet. But almost a week ago they were saying, "Ooh, there was this bunch of thunderstorms down near Cuba," and they were going, "It's going to go this way. It's going to go this way. It's going to go this way. Wind shear and the this and the that. It's going to go this way. It's good, right?" So me and my conspiracy mind are going. They're trying to tell us, "Hey, y'all, guess what we're fixing to do to you? We're fixing to send a hurricane right up your alley, right?" So, what has that got to do with anything? Well, right now here in South Georgia, I'm not positive about North Florida, but I would think that it's similar. Peanuts are in the ground, and they're doing really good. And it's about this time of year, depending on how the peanuts are doing, that they combine no, they don't. They flip the peanuts over to dry. Also, the cotton is like blooming, okay? And so now you're going to send in a bunch of rain to get everything good and soggy and wet, which sets up mold situations. And it's been good enough for the peanut farmer that if we've had enough rain for the peanuts to look good, but it hasn't been too much rain where mold sets in and they have to spray it and do other things to the peanuts. So why would they be steering a a storm towards us, right? Because don't they have to have some kind of reason for steering a storm or creating one in the first place? Well, so all I can think of is they want to try to disrupt the farmer. And this year, the cotton plants and everything look really good. So what do they want to do? They want to send a hurricane in just to muck with people. I don't know. See, I'm a conspiracy theorist. What else why would they want to send one a week ago towards us? And one of the spaghetti models has it going like right over the house kind of thing. So, but anyway, dead end. Which moon? Did I say hi? Which moon? I hope I did. Nature has a way of what taking revenge. Yeah, but we haven't done anything down here in South Georgia. We've been hit by a bunch of hurricanes in the last 50 years that I've lived in South Georgia. And I grew up in Tampa, and we only had two. And so this one's going right by Tampa, which many of them have over the years, and smacked me. So I moved down to Tampa to get away from hurricanes and moved up here. And, you know, there's almost every year we get hit by at least one tropical storm. And one year there were three quote, hurricane tropical storms that hit us one right after the other. Now, it's been 20, 25 years ago, but I mean, we just got hammered. Um, yeah, TTFN right back at you, Bob. And wherever, oh, you're in, yeah, it's a shame that you can't get a breath of fresh air up there in BC. We'll be praying for you folks up there. I always have. Anytime I see a fire like that, I've had my house burned down. And so to stand there and watch your property and stuff just go up in smoke is not fun. You know, Katniss, I was talking about cutting down trees. No, trees need to be cut down. There are trees that I saw out west when I was out there in 99 that they should have harvested some of those trees. Oh, we can't touch nature. Nature needs to go. Listen, nature needs help sometimes. And the reason nature needs help is because people live around nature. In the old days, 200,000 acres gets burned. Well, nature is recovering, and it will. But back in those days, there weren't a bunch of people that lived around them 200 or 300,000 acres of land. Now there are peoples and buildings and properties and businesses and stuff around nature. Where before, so this idea that, let nature take care of it. No, 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 no. We are, there are those, Christians who are believe that we are dominion to be, as the Bible says, we are to be dominion over the earth. Now we're supposed to be park rangers, if you will, especially in the rural areas. And farmers are their own park rangers. I'm my own park ranger here on the property. And because if there's a bad tree, I cut it up if I can. Uh, if I need to burn in the spring or the fall to make sure that there's not too much undergrowth. I mean, that's land management. And we as human beings, and I'm not talking about raping the land or whatever. Oh, you burned it off. Yes, it stimulates growth, and within 2 or 3 days, things will be popping up. And yes, things need to be burned, but if you wait too long for things to be burned, then it gets catastrophic, and then it burns too hot, and then other things happen and the forest changes, and then you start burning down good trees. But if you drop the old trees and turn it into mulch, if nothing else, they have these huge machines now that can gobble up a tree literally in seconds and turn it into a pile of mulch. You just feed it in one end and out comes stuff. They're huge. These things are huge, these machines. They're bigger than some bulldozers, but they gobble up trees. But the thing is, but then if you turn it into mulch, you can use it for something. But if it's a dead tree in the forest and it catches on fire, and then that turns into a real issue from a forestry standpoint. So what time is it? 8:39. Katniss, how are you? What is congratulation? I missed it. Tell me again. I missed whatever it is. Thank you. What's up? Be so kind as to reprint it. Oh, cool beans. Katniss had a granddaughter. Good bean. I'm sort of a grandfather myself. My dear, what day, Katniss? This is Tuesday. You hear me talk about my dear friend Rob, who took me and brought me home from the hospital this last time. His wife finally I say finally. I've been waiting on the baby longer than maybe, but anyway, um, he now has baby number 4, second son, born 8 ounces, 8 pounds 2 ounces, 20 something inches long, 27th. She was born. He was born last Saturday at 1:45 a.m. So close. Ivy Maria, 6 pound. He is Troy. She was Sunday at 1:35 a.m. They were really close. So, and I told Rob the other day, I said, I know I'm not officially, you know, your blood kin, but I feel like a grandpa. And I really do. I feel like a grandpa. And so I know I'm Uncle Dave when I go over there, but I really feel like a grandpa. Seeing the picture and everything, I was just so proud, you know. And since my chances of getting to see any grandchildren with I'm not speaking bad about it, but with a gay granddaughter, my chances of great grandchildren are kind of slim, you know. Um, so no argument, not criticizing, choices. It just is what it is. So, but that's okay. I live vicariously with grandchildren with Rob and of course other family members too. Of course, I'm Uncle Dave, but anyway, um, I'm proud for all y'all. So it's been almost a half an hour. It's 8:42. I'm gonna hit this bowl one more time. I'm proud for you, Katniss. I know how you feel, and you're more proud than I am because they're really yours. you know, and I was just so proud for Rob. You know, and we were talking about. I said, "Why 4 kids?" Most people these days 1 kid and that's it. And he's like, "Well, I grew up with a large family, and there were a bunch of us in and out, and why not?" And I was like, "Well, okay, why not?" Well, in this day and age when it's so terrible, but there are people who still believe in large families and they like that sort of thing. So I'm glad there are folks who still feel like that, that to have a large family is like really the thing to do rather than the thing to don't do. Now, there are some folks who are popping out babies for large families for the wrong reasons. He's able to take care of his family. He is able to support his family and is doing things to like having lots of chickens and being more self sufficient on his little farm over there. Those are things that he's looking forward to and teaching his girls and boys how to be self sufficient and how to take care of the chickens and how to collect them and do those things and simple farm stuff, but still. But, you know, you too, Sheila. Hunker down, girl. If you need anything over there or something, you call me, okay? I got resources over here too. Yeah, and I'm the same right at you, Sheila. If you need something, let me know. Yeah, you have 6 already. You're building an army. We'll send prayers. Absolutely. You never know with storms. I mean, you just never know. I mean, that thunderstorm a month or 6 weeks ago that struck the pole outside and fried all my stuff here in the house. This is your first grandbaby. Well, that's just cool. So here's to you. I got a cigar over there I can light later. I gotta get off of here and get ready to be on with Robert V. And it's been 30 minutes, so I love you all. Be safe. Here's to a fairly calm evening. We got a storm coming in. I guess it'll be a rainy night in Georgia. So, Cosmic Hugs, I love y'all. Be safe wherever you might be, and any friends or family that might be in the way of this storm coming up. Because it isn't just about the wind. There's going to be an 8 to 10 foot storm surge. Now, I'm 5 foot tall, almost 6 foot tall. So that means water 3 foot over my head. Okay. Now, folks down on the coast are used to it. And them folks along the Cedar Key area and Old Town and up in there where the mouth of the Mississippi, the Swanee River is, blah, blah, blah. Um, you know, to have 5 to 8 feet extra water from where you're at is a bunch of damn water. That's a lot of water. And it'll be ocean water and brackish, depending on how much rainfall and if you're near a river or something. But 5 feet of extra water is one thing, but they're talking, upwards of 11 feet of storm surge. And some of that's going to go right into Tampa Bay. And there are a lot of low lying areas in Tampa Bay. I mean, where I lived growing up was only 9 feet above sea level. Okay. So a long way inland, but still it was only 9 feet above sea level. So my friends down in near Bradenton and all, depending on the storm surge, they could have flood water come inland and, be in their yard, not counting the rainfall that comes down. So, when the ocean decides to come into your backyard or front yard, or maybe your side yard, to the tune of 11 extra feet, you know, that's up there somewhere. You know, be careful. It's, you can't get, I mean, when it comes in from the ocean, it's like a tsunami in that there is so much pressure behind the water. The best thing you can do if you get caught by it is to not try to drive through it in unless it's really shallow. But the best thing to do is get on an inner tube or something so you can literally rise above it, because you're not going to stop it. And there are no amount of sandbags or whatever is going to keep it, from eating you alive, because you can't put up sandbags that fast. 11 feet. Just think about it. So there are people along the west coast of Florida who are going to be getting 11 feet of storm surge. So think about that. So for them folks, I'm especially praying for. And folks down in Perry, which is a nice little town down there, the Steenhatchee and the rivers down there, they're all going to get backed up with a lot of water. So send a prayer out for those. Robert hosts a show that Hawkeye joins. Oh, you're telling dead end. Robert V. Yeah. Milky Way Messenger, isn't it? And we'll be doing a show here in about an hour. Yeah, thank you, Chloe. So anyway, let me shut up here and get ready tonight with Robert. So, but for anybody else that I know, there are millions of other people who are, in line for this hurricane and what the water will do besides the wind, and what possible tornadoes. A lot of water damage. So be safe, my friends. And I'll see you on Robert's show. And depending on how I am and how the electricity is, I'll probably do a show after I get done with the Milky Way. But yeah, Milky Way Messenger. So thank you, Chloe, and everybody. Dead end. Hope to see you over there, and anybody else. Be there at 10 o'clock tonight with bells on. So how you like my hat, huh? Does it just make me look goofy? All right, I love you all. I continue to pray that each and every day, that each and every one of you will continue to learn how to accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, the wisdom, and the many blessings from the universe, and also the many lessons that we learn from the universe. So pay attention to things around you. And I continue to pray that each and every day, that each and every one of you, your friends, your family, and all of your relatives and your relations will continue to learn how to live through this crazy world and how to stay out of the chaos. So I hope you learned a thing or two in your daily life. Until next time, we love you. Be safe. Thank you, Chloe, as for always. And all y'all. Bye.